Aloha. How's it going? Tony again with your Entrepreneurial Injection. You're outside of the box thinking and you're daring to do things differently. Thank you for joining me again. Boom, I'm really excited to be here. I've had quite a weekend, and as a lot of you have seen on my posts, if you're following me, I've been doing and did open water swimming. And this open water swim that I just did on Saturday was the Cinco de Mayo 1 mile open water swim. And my thing that I've committed to on Zen Men, part of Zen Men is doing something that's edgy or scares you physically. And so for me, that is open water swimming. Truth be known, I hate open water swimming. I don't like it. And people say, why do you do it? What's up with that? You know, and so in Zen Men, we actually challenge ourselves to do something physically that we know that would benefit us by going through it and coming out the other side, where we don't let fear or our thoughts stop us from creating what we want. And because it's in direct correlation to how I show up outside of physical activities. So, you know, there's constantly fear and challenges as an entrepreneur in my relationships, dealing with my kids, my spiritual practice. I'm constantly dealing with the thinking. And so am I willing to challenge myself and do something physically is how I like to work with it. And back in August, a lot of you have seen, I bet, did Hell on the Hill, where I ran up and down a hill 100 times with Amber. It was a great experience, painful experience. I threw up at the end. And man, the growth that came out of that for me, and what I've taken my company to, of what I bring to my clients, and how I show up in my life has been incredible. So this swim was no different. And so I wanted to speak to you about a few things that came up for me that I'm noticing, something that that is a thread in me doing things that are uncomfortable and that I work with every single time, and it seems somehow I forget that it's a part of that. And so the one big thing that is that people say, well, you're creating something that scares you, so you know, are you like stuffing the fear or suppressing the fear? And the big thing that I want to acknowledge and emphasize is it's not about getting rid of the fear or like pretending that it's not there. And I think it's most important to actually feel the fear and experience it, because you know, fear is a core emotion of human experience. That's a big thing to say, human experience, and a core feeling. So I like, in my work with the men's work, we break our emotions down into mad, sad, glad, fear, and shame. And so those 5 emotions, here's one thing that has rocked my world in that whole concept. If I suppress one emotion, I'm actually suppressing all the rest to be fully expressed. So if I stuff fear and I say, I don't feel it, I'm fearless, I can go through this with not feeling any fear, that actually inhibits joy. That I'm not fully expressing joy. It brings that down, similar to that also. And then sadness will do the same thing. Is like, I feel sadness, and it's not a bad thing to feel sadness, but if I suppress it or like pretend it's not there, bam, it'll actually like come out sideways in anger and yuck. So to feel all your emotions is good, and fear is a great one to say, man, I actually feel it going into this swim. When I hired Melissa from Jaws coaching and training, she pushes me, she trains me hard and asks a lot of me, and it brings up that fear a lot. You know, when she go swim out in the ocean, you know, for 45 minutes or an hour by yourself, and all my stuff would come up. So feeling the actual emotion of fear What a big deal. And choosing to move forward with that feeling going on in my body. Holy shit. That's like a big deal for me. As an athlete, as an entrepreneur, I used to always want to stuff that and say, boom, I can do this. Or even the macho side of me is, I'm fearless. I can do anything, And it's like, sure, I can have fear and choose to do it anyway. So doing this swim, Jaws and shark attack 2 weeks ago, 2 bays over by a tiger shark, brings up all that kind of fear in my body. And I grew up with that. And so, man, I was physically trained for this. Melissa did a fantastic job getting me ready. Even with my travel schedule, I was able to train and be in physical shape. I did a lot of CrossFit, still doing it. And I felt ready. The big game was up here in my head. And so that watching what my mind creates in order so that I diverse from it or stop doing it was one of the main things this was about. So feel the fear, do it anyways. Okay, you got to feel it while you're doing it. So, create something out there for yourself to do that. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing as I go to a starting line or as I'm starting to approach the event, it's amazing how the mind will actually create aches or pains in my body that I did not have prior to the race or prior to the event that will make me question whether I should even do it or not. And I remember doing a half marathon with Amber about 3 years ago, and great example of that is my outside of my little toe was like sharp pain in the side of my foot. And I was like, man, is this going to inhibit me from running? Should I not run? I started questioning it walking up to the starting line. And I did the same thing with this. As I was walking up the beach to go to the pre-race meeting, my neck started to feel tension and it really tight here. And I was like, you know what? This is that thing that my mind creates an ache in my body and says, oh, maybe, are you going to be able to swim and turn your head? Maybe you shouldn't do it, So, dealing with that discomfort or that sense of question that my mind creates and moving with that I have some discomfort in my body. I may not feel like it, but I'm going to choose to move forward anyways. There's a big difference in pain of being hurt and then being sore or achy or feeling that tension from doing something that is edgy for you. And this is exactly transfers over into being an entrepreneur. So that kind of thing really came up for me in my neck. I just watched myself questioning it right before we got up to the pre-race meeting, and I was like, oh, not this again. So it definitely was a good awareness to see that, part of creating and doing things that aren't in my comfort zone are about working with discomfort and pain. And how's my relationship with that to continue to do it anyways? And finally, it comes up around, going into the dojo. And as a dojo, a place of practice is my methodology. It's also where I practice judo. And as a sensei and a teacher, that if I'm injured or hurt, can I continue to show up and walk through that door and still train, even though I may feel some injuries that I got to modify, but I keep moving forward in what I want to do. So that's what I got. I did my mile swim, Cinco de Mayo swim. Do I want to do another one? I don't know. I'm just being with the experience of doing that. Maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'll do it again. I'm still training with Melissa because I think it's important that I just don't let it all go right now, that I work with. I got a lot of aches in my hips right now, and my shoulders are achy. I've never kicked and swam so hard in my life. So as an entrepreneur, what are you doing for yourself that's outside your business that you can challenge yourself with to actually propel your business into going to the next level? And that's what we do in Zen Men And for you men out there that are wanting to take your life to the next level, not only spiritually but physically, you know, having those bad days, you know, how to deal with your partner, not wanting to perform at work and still operate at your highest level. Zen Men could be a perfect opportunity for you to explore that. It's a 6-month program that a group of men go on this journey together, and the next one starts in July. So that might be an option for you. And put a little teaser out there for all you women that in September I'll be launching Zen Women. And that's really exciting for me to take a group of women on this journey of that spiritual practice and the physical challenge for yourself for 6 months. So here we go. Exiting with my favorite tune here. Inspires me anytime I'm feeling like I need that extra climb or push. Doing something that scares me, doing something that challenges me. What can you do that challenges you? And make that light up your day, challenge your day to experience life to its fullest. Go out and make it just like radically awesome, and choose how you're going to show up to everything you do, because intention is one of the greatest tools that you can gift yourself and work with on a daily basis. Love to you all. Have a fantastic day. Aloha. Woo!